Okay, what up? Wednesday night, 7:30 p.m. It's the boys club time. Real talk by real men. Yasmin V, what up? I see you. Shout to Richie D in the building. Rich, hit that request. Let's go. Antoinette, what up, girl? Shout to everybody who rocked with us week over week over week. Appreciate you. And y'all know how we do it. Please, if you're in this live, please tell a friend to tell a friend. Rich, what up, kid?
What up?
Yeah, I'm just letting y'all know Rich is pissed off. As always, Rich is the most punctual dude in the world. If I'm 30 seconds late,
I am.
like literally, he's pissed. And I think I was like 4 or 5 minutes late today.
I'm wiping my screen down and I'm doing all my shit, getting ready, and then I look at my watch. I'm like, yo, it's 7:34.
Yo, but I was. It's the same thing for me. I was wiping my screen down. I was trying to get ready. Yo, shout to the Tiki Factors. Tiki Davis in the building, an amazing, amazing motivational speaker. Shout to my boy Tiki Davis. All right, Rich, do the intro and we get into it. We got a lot to cover this week.
All right, bet. Yo, thanks everybody for, logging in. This is the Boys Club, Rich Dallas, Sean Prez. You can check us out tomorrow. Please go to our all podcasts, the Boys Club. All podcast streaming sites, everywhere you can get a podcast. It'll be up tomorrow. Log on, sign up. We'll be live tomorrow. Tonight's conversation will be tomorrow, is what I'm saying. But tonight, it's the Boys Club. We on live. Let's get it. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Tell all your friends, log on. Tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. Come on, let's get it going.
Yeah, please, tag some people y'all know right now. All right, Rich, let's get into it. I want to start with something that we touched on. Actually, we had a whole conversation last week about the young lady who her baby father bought McDonald's for his child, but she had 3 additional children in the crib, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she takes to social media and she was unapologetic. She was like, yo, I know I'm getting hammered out here. I know I'm the bad guy. But when this man got with me, he knew. He knew I had 3 other kids. She was like, the kid that we have together, that's the youngest. So when he got with me, he knew there were 3 other kids, and those kids became attached to him. So now that we're not together, he can't just bring that food for one, and I'm going to call him out, and I'm going to double down on it. So I wanted to ask a couple of things, and I don't want to take as much time as we took last week on this particular topic, but I understand her point of view. He comes into her life, he knows she has 3 other kids, the whole ride, right? But even as she was doubling down on this man, she never once mentioned the other baby fathers. So I gotta ask you, now looking at it through her eyes, now that she is kind of laying it out there for the whole world to get a better understanding of what their relationship looked like, number one, do you agree with her? Yo, my other 3 kids, they really did know you from the gate because they're older than our son together. And number 2, her not mentioning her other baby fathers, do men who do the right thing, do they kind of get a bad rap out here? Like it almost feels like the deadbeats, they get to keep it moving. She's focused on the one that's actually doing right, even if in her eyes, he's not doing right by her other children.
Okay, so here's my thought on that. I have the same exact thoughts that I had last week. My thoughts last week were, he could have been a little bit cleaner with the situation, understanding there were other kids in the house.
Mm-hmm.
He could have been like, yo, little man, come outside. Let's take a ride. I'm about to take my little man. We're about to run for a minute, whatever. That could have been the cleaner. I don't care if I came in your life and I was the epitome of daddy daycare the stepdaddy version. If we break up, I'm responsible for my child. I'm not responsible for the others. Now, I guess the extra layer she added was that he was around, they grew attached to him, he was cool with them. So she's trying, I guess, paint the picture that he's being petty right now. He being petty. Like, you know these little kids love you. You know they look up to you. You know you was fucking with them just 2 weeks ago, or however long it was since we broke up. Now that we broke up, you taking your anger on me out on the kids because now you acting like you don't fuck with them and you know they got an affinity for you. My thing is this. I'm only responsible for my child. Please don't misinterpret my kindness for weakness. If I'm in your life, I'm taking everything that comes with me being in your life. Flaws and all, children and all, whatever the case may be. If I'm with you, everything that you got, we doing this. So I'm never gonna bring in McDonald's or whatever for the kids if in fact I plan on staying. That would be rude. Me to bring in McDonald's, sit down on the couch, watch TV, get my nigga food, and don't get nobody else no food. That's crazy. Don't feel entitled because I set a good precedent. Because I was a good dude, don't feel entitled later on that now I'm obligated to treat all your kids like they mine. We are no longer together. I'm going to do what I do for mine. I say again, he could have said, let's take a ride. He could have went and got the little man and went and took him away. He could have not have done that. My point is that he did what he did for his child. Now, if he don't bring no food, he's the bad guy. If he brings food for his child, he's the bad guy. If you don't feed all your other kids, he's the bad guy. That's not right. That's not right. We broke up. I'm no longer on the books for your children. So now you got to get them other niggas to step up for their children because I can't step up for children that ain't mine. So now where them other niggas at? Where your other baby daddies at? Like, they got memes and shit floating around with a nigga letting carloads of niggas jumping off the car, bringing kids to their...
Yeah.
But the point is, that's what it should be. It should be everybody baby daddy. You got kids by this woman. You call them other dudes. Don't take my kindness for weakness because I showed you that I will take care of your kids and hold your kids down. But they're not mine. That's not my responsibility. And when me and you break up, that's it. I broke up with them children too. That's my option. I have that option at this point. I don't have the option to feed mine. That's what you got to do. But I do have the option to feed the rest of yours. That's my option. Now, if I want to bring food because I still love these little crumb snatchers and I know that they in the house starving to death because your other baby daddies is pieces of shit and ain't nowhere to be found on the face of the earth, then I can do that. But if I'm down to my last $10 and mine call me and say they hungry, then I can only feed one. I got to feed mine. That's it. The rest of you niggas got to eat sugar sandwiches. Syrup sandwich. I don't know. Like but that ain't. But the problem. But my point is that ain't my responsibility. And that's that. That's that. You know what I mean? She took my man kindness for weakness, and I think that's wrong of her.
So this opens up a whole conversation, right? Because we live in a world where you're blessed. You really are. If you are with the only man you've ever been with or the only woman you've ever been with, most people come to the table, as you know, they got luggage. Especially past a certain age, it's almost expected that she or he is going to come to the table with some kids, at least a kid. And here's the flip side of that. We've had this conversation on the show. If you are above a certain age and come to the table with no kids, a dude look at you like, yo, what's really going on here? Not to say that, you know, there is something going on here, but a dude is scratching his head, whether he say it out loud or not. This is just the way men think. You like, ain't nobody knocked this up. Something like, it got to be something going on that I need to keep my eyes out open for. But that's a different conversation. But in your opinion, what does this, because there's somebody who's going to watch this or listen to this, what's the rules of engagement here? What does the conversation look like up front? Because this scenario with this woman, she opened up a whole conversation. How do we proceed if we break up, but my children are still attached to you? How do we proceed if me and you are no longer together? I understand these kids are not yours, but they're kind of innocent bystanders in this. And I'm not trying to bring a bunch of men in and out of their life. Like, what is there a conversation that men can have with women up front who they're dating that got kids, and vice versa? If a woman's coming to the table, has kids, is that a conversation you would even entertain? Like, yo, if this don't work, here's the plan moving forward. Because to me, this is a real discussion because it happens every day of the week. And truthfully speaking, although I think she's wrong and she has an entitled spirit and she has expectations of this man to do for all of her kids as though he was still in her life, I don't think she's wrong for being hurt. I don't think she's wrong for, I mean, she gave birth to all them kids. They hurt, she hurt. She got to watch one get more than the others. So, number one, as a man, would you even entertain this conversation? And if you did, what does that conversation even look like to you?
The conversation is this. It's real simple. Like I said, if we're involved, now this also has to do with how long they've been involved. How long they've been involved. Kids 5 years old, you've been in their life for 3 of them 5 years. The oldest being 5, your kid is 2. You've been in all of their lives for 3 years. You should have some type of feeling for those children as well. If we've been together for a year, my kid's a year old, your kid's is 5. I've been around for 1 year. I love them. The conversation is this. Don't bring anything to my home if you're not bringing things for all the children.
Well, isn't that what she said? That's almost exactly what she.
No, this is the outro conversation.
Okay, let's talk about the intro.
And I preface. I'm gonna finish because it's not that simple. Don't call me. Call me. Let me know that you're coming over with food. Let me know, or just bring me my money. Like, let's keep it clean because I understand you want to be a good father to your kid. And I understand that you are not responsible for the others. Now, if you call me and we have a conversation, you say I'm about to stop by with food, yo, can you bring food for everybody? No, I cannot. I'm down to my last $10. Happy meal costs $8.75. I got $1.25 for the rest of these niggas. All right, you know what? Just bring me the $10 and I'll figure it out. That's the conversation. The conversation is not sitting on the front porch screaming about how you ain't bring food for somebody, for your other children. Because now I don't care how you break it down. I don't care how you break it down. You're not entitled to that. You're not entitled to the benefits of a relationship that you're no longer in. If you're in that relationship, he absolutely is responsible for everything that you come with, if that's what your relationship is. If not, he's not. The way she came off on the internet, and it is context to everything, right? There's always context to everything. I could say, nigga, somebody could get mad, post this shit tomorrow and be like, Richie Dollar said the N-word on that. And the next thing you know, it's a big thing. But the context is everything. She came off context-wise, spasming on this man because he was bringing food to his child and not the others. The big macro view of that is, I'm not responsible. The micro conversation is, I told this nigga don't come over here with food for just the one because I don't want the other kids feeling a certain kind of way. I told this nigga don't come over here unannounced. I told this nigga, call me before you come and we'll figure out. If you only got money for your kid, then just bring me the cash. Or come get him. Come get him. Don't bring him food to this house if everybody can't eat. That looks nuts. Understood. All that is understood. All I'm saying is that she should have prefaced, if you're going to go live and do a video, it would be in your best interest to preface that video with the fucking facts. But people are so adamant about exposing somebody that you don't even do the proper due diligence on your end to be able to have yourself get your point of view out properly. She did not get her point of view out properly. She was so adamant on making the video and exposing this nigga and making him look bad that she made herself look bad, because everything is context. So now you want to go back and you want to double down on it. You want to kind of give the context behind it. These kids has been around for 100 years. He has a relationship. The reality is this: if I'm with you, everything you come with, I'm holding you down. If I'm not with you and we only got one, I'm responsible for that one. Just because I have a relationship with the other one don't mean that they get Jordans on Christmas. Don't mean that they get birthday gifts. Don't mean that life is the same. Life has changed when we broke up. My responsibility is what I'm obligated to handle. And with that being said, the rest of this is the sad part about it is really all of this is a private conversation. All of this is a private conversation between those two grown-ass people. She did that. She put this on the internet and made it seem as though it was something, and now she got to go back and double down, and now everybody's clowning her and she's getting torn up. But you did that because you felt more obligated to expose this nigga than you did to actually tell what the side of the story. Now you look nuts and you doubling down and you trying to explain your story, but the reality is that's a conversation for you two adults. Yo, I told this man, don't bring no food to this house without feeding all my kids. If you can't feed them all, don't feed none. Bring me the money. I'll pay me. I'll Uber Eats. I'll do whatever the case may be. I'll get my food. I'll handle that business. Because I'm the one that got to sit in this house with these other 3 kids. Understanding you're being a good father. You're being a good father. Your son texts you, he hungry, you brought him food. You whatever the case may be, you're being a good father. But the reality is, these are my kids too. And I can't sit in here while one nigga got a Happy Meal and the rest of these niggas is eating Gatorade sandwiches. Like, I can't do that. So please don't put me in that position. That's the conversation, Sean. That's the conversation.
Okay, so you answered the question, because I was going to press you on it, but I think I know the answer. You didn't totally answer the question I was asking, but you did say, you gave me an idea of where you're at. I was asking, before you sleep together, before y'all become a couple officially, you dating, you getting to know her, she's getting to know you, the whole 9. This is something, especially if either one of y'all are bringing kids to the table, this is a conversation that needs to be had that most people never have. You go into the relationship, you're hoping for the best. Then when it don't, this happens, right? Homeboy's like, yo, I got 1 kid with you. When I met you, you had them other kids. You better talk to them baby fathers. So I was just asking you, and I think you answered it. Number 1, would you be open to this conversation if a woman approached you and y'all getting serious, or it looks like it's going there? What does that conversation even look like? Are you open to it as a man? Are you defensive? Do you welcome it? And do you establish the rules of engagement up front should this thing not work out?
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm doing now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I go into the relationship. This conversation is, I'm holding you down. If I go into this relationship, obviously means that we don't have no kids yet. If we just now starting this conversation, it's just now happening. If I'm not coming over, if you call me and say, yo, my kids is hungry, I'm gonna feed your kids. I'm gonna make it clear to you. I'm making it very clear right now for all these people. It's not my obligation to do so. I'm doing so out of the kindness of my heart. I'm doing so because not only do I want the box, I'm fucking with you, I'm just playing. But I'm doing so not only because I like you and I'm in a position to do so. And I want to, if I'm trying to be in your life, then I understand that I need to do what's necessary, what you deem to be necessary for me to be in your life. The problem I have is, honestly speaking, Sean, to me, red flag.
What's a red flag? Stop there.
Red flag from a man's point of view. If you start to date a woman, she should not want you to do anything for her children, my man. That's the way I was raised. My mother date somebody, I don't even get to see that nigga. I don't know, she don't know what this relationship is until it becomes that. That's when all of this becomes relevant, because now we're serious. Now we in a relationship. Now it's something that we need to discuss. How you gonna handle these crumb snatches over here? Now that conversation becomes super relevant. Honestly speaking, at the beginning, this should not be a topic of conversation. That's baby kid shit. Like, that's that old Robin comedian dude. That's that baby kid shit. You walk in the house, kids everywhere, you looking around like, what the fuck did I sign up for? No. If you are first meeting someone, you don't want every nigga around your kids, whether the nigga bring home Red Lobster or McDonald's. You don't want your kids meeting multiple dudes as you meet multiple dudes. It's fine as an adult to go out there and meet somebody, kick it with them. You like them, you think you like them, but there got to be a vetting process. Like, we talk about vetting all the time just in relationships. There's a double vet when it comes to putting your kids in a scenario in which they meet this dude. So now you got little kids that are meeting people, multiple people. That is counterproductive. That creates issues later on in life. That creates things that you don't want to happen. That creates scenarios in which now niggas is in and out of your life and your kids is looking at mommy and the cycle continues. So it would behoove you, it would be in your best interest, as you ask the question. I'm a little bit taken back if a woman is like, yo, I got kids, what's good? Like, what we doing? I don't know, bitch. That's a 6-month question. That's not a 2-week question. It's not a 1-month question. That's a year question. That's a we've been dating question.
Stop there. Stop. And I want you to think about this before you answer me. That is a what? What's the time frame question? Is it 2 weeks, 2 months, 6 months?
As a man, it's hard for me to answer that question. If Ashley or Taylor lives with me and I'm a father, I don't want multiple women around my kids for at least a year. I don't want women around my kids for at least a year.
Okay.
They might hear about you.
Okay. I'm asking you this for a reason. And just bear with me, because I thought we was going to be in and out of this conversation, but we always dive deep. I mean, that's what we do on this show.
Thanks.
Steve Harvey wrote a best-selling book, Act Like a Woman, Think Like a Man. Within his book, he said, if a man does not ask you to meet your kids within the first 2 weeks or some crap like that, he's not that into you. He's the wrong dude. And from the gate, I was like, meanwhile, that book has sold millions and millions of copies. But I remember vividly when I heard that, because I didn't read it, somebody actually told me that nonsense. I said, this dude is either number one, old, or number two, he is selling y'all anything y'all want to hear just to sell a book. And women ran out there, and I'm bringing this up because you are talking as a real man. And I haven't even given my opinion yet. And I will now. I don't want to meet your kid. Like I've said this before, I don't want to meet your kid until we are this, until we know that this is real. I'm looking at you so sideways if you try to involve me in your kid's life, and it's vice versa. I'm not introducing you to my kid. It don't mean nothing. Don't take it the wrong way. But I'm not bringing any and everybody around my kids, period. Now, I would look at a woman so that it would be such a red flag, and you can chime in here, but that's Steve Harvey advice. If you asked me 2 weeks, even 2 months, 3 months, I like you, Sean, like you ain't asked to meet my kids yet. Something's wrong here. Like I would look at you so crazy, and I would actually, and this is just me, but I would think you don't respect the fragility of bringing men in and out of the lives of your children and what that can do to them. And I don't care how good me and you are doing. I'm probably going to be out, because to me, it says it's not me. You just looking for a man to be in them kids' life. So I wouldn't look at it and be proud. Oh, she want me to meet her kids. Nigga, that's insert man here. Any man to do. I'm just trying. This is how I would look at it. And women, y'all need to listen to this, because maybe some of y'all are going in it with the right intention. Maybe you read that book and you think that that is the proper way to do it. But I'm telling you, I'm a real dude. If a woman early into the relationship hit me with what are we doing because you ain't asked me to meet the kids, I'm looking at you, number one, so crazy. Number two, I lost so much respect for you out the gate. Like my respect level is gone and it ain't coming back. Because to me, kids are off limits across the board. They're off limits to people who you're just dating and they're not going to be in your life, or to somebody who's been in your life. Now you hate that person and y'all broke up, but you on the phone talking to your girlfriend, this mother effer and this and it. But it's within earshot of the kids. Kids are just off limits. They just are. And truthfully speaking, I don't care who agree with me, who don't agree with me. If you buy into that old school bull crap of a man who don't want to meet your kids 2 weeks, 2 months after y'all start dating, he the wrong one, he ain't really into you. Either you're just looking to put a man in your kid's life, or you don't understand men. It's just as simple as that.
That's it. You just said the magic words. If you are not willing to vet and do the things necessary for your relationship before you decide, you either are a broke motherfucker that just needs help and is looking for help via, or you just want a man in your kid's life, or vice versa. You just want a woman in your kid's life. You have a baby's mother. If you have a child, you have a baby's mother. Holidays should be for you and your baby's mother and your children. You go to one place, you go to the next place, you do whatever you got to do. You bring your kids with you, y'all go however you want to do it. You should not need to meet somebody and put said person in your children's life immediately. When you are ready to put said person, it's because you know they're going to be there. We are on the way. Shout out to Sandy Wade. We are on the way to being married. They need to approve of this man. We are serious. The kids need to be around this man because that's the final frontier. That's the culmination of 8 months of work, being together. Now you come around the kids. If the kids sign off on you, we walking down the aisle, we got flower girls or best man, whatever the case may be. We got it. But before that, cute, handsome, fancy car, I want him around. He promised he was bringing over Shoney's, whatever. No, you don't do that to kids. That's how little motherfuckers get touched. That's how little motherfuckers get verbally abused. That's how you create the cycle of seeing many, many people come in and out of mommy's life or daddy's life, and that gives you the impression that it's okay. And that's how you create issues amongst children. Have a relationship with your child's other parent. They don't need to replace somebody if somebody's already there. Now you can replace them, not replace them, ever replace them, but now you can bring someone else new into the relationship when you are as sure that it's going to the next level as anything else. That's it. That's the bottom line. Anything other than that, red flag. If I was like, yo, I'm going to keep it so funky with you, Sean, I feel away. If I call somebody, and this ain't happened to me in years, be clear, I'm a grown-ass man. This is some kid shit, really. Yo, what's up? My kids will be asleep. I'm putting my kids to bed at 10 o'clock. Come over. I'm putting my kids to bed at 9:30. Come over at 9:30. I've lost all respect for you. I'm smashing. I'll be there at 9:30. But I've
Rick,
lost all respect.
hold on, stop. Damn, somebody need to hear this. So I need you to rewind, bring that back. Please say that again, because y'all, this is from a man. This ain't from your girl. It ain't from a man that you used to be with. This is from a man who got no dogs in this fight. He don't know what you doing in your life. But there's somebody right now that is doing exactly what you said, and you need to tell them how men think the minute that they get that text.
That shit is common. And the crazy thing about it is they think they doing the right thing because they like, I'm putting my children to bed, which means now I got some playtime, come over here. And if you ever call, if you're a woman and I met you before and we had sex and you're on this live and you wonder what happened, if you ever told me, yo, Richie, I'm putting my babies to bed at 9:30, can you come over at that time? I probably came over, we probably had sex, and we probably never spoke again. Because I lost respect for you. I lost respect for you. That you would have somebody in your circumference, within that personal space of your children, for a good time. For a good time. Or because you wanted me to bring some food. Yo, if you're a mother, be a mother to your children. I promise to God, dudes respect that. If you're a father, be a father to your children. I swear to God, women respect that. They respect that. They're gonna look at you and be like, yo, I gotta respect this dude. Yo, I can't do this tonight. I got soccer practice. I can't do this today. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. The person, the number one rule, and I'm never vainglorious enough to think that it can't happen to me. If a nigga do it to you, if a nigga do it to them, he will do it to you. If a nigga do it to him, he will do it to you. If a girl do it to her, she will do it to you. Period. Point blank. Period. You're not that important. You ain't that person. A lion or a tiger don't change his stripes or whatever the thing, cheetah, whatever. The bottom line is, you could think that you vainglorious, and you could think that, oh, I'm so cocky, she's just doing that because it's me. No, nigga. Another nigga came over last week when them little crumb snatchers laid it down. When you have a baby, and you could be in such a position that you have a baby, and all of a sudden you looking at this dude, you could tell a dude or a woman by who they are today, that'll be who they are tomorrow. If they show you who they are, why would you expect that anything differently is gonna happen? So if I want you around my kids early, then the next nigga's been around my kids early, and the next nigga will be around my kids early. And it's just, it's the way it is. And as far as Steve Harvey and his advice is so fucking dinosaur, outdated. I'm a Steve Harvey fan, but his advice is so terrible. And if you look at, let's just call it for what it is. Y'all can act like Lori Harvey goes, but Lori Harvey got some issues with her. To move the way she moved, there's something there. So I don't know that I could write a book telling a motherfucker how to raise children if in fact my own got issues. Now everybody got issues, and it is what it is. But the reality is, I'm gonna have to refrain from telling motherfuckers the gospel if in fact I can't even preach to my own sermon. I can't even preach to my own congregation. My people ain't hearing me. Why the fuck would y'all listen to me if the niggas that's right here next to me is not paying attention to the shit I'm saying? So as far as that Steve Harvey shit, man, listen, I heard so many I heard some great shit. The concrete thing and all the rows that grew from the concrete and didn't make no noise and all that shit. Some of that shit is amazing. But there's some of that shit, I just be looking at this nigga and being like, bro, if you don't stop, my nigga, if you don't knock it off.
Yo, Rich, I'm gonna tell you, man, I'm sitting here and you know, for number one, everything you saying is right. And I'm sitting here and I don't know, maybe I'm just in a different zone tonight, but I'm really feel like, yo, what you saying, that's what the Boys Club was intended for, right? When we first started doing this, the intent was to be so unapologetically truthful about how men think. Whether it hurts your feelings, whether you agree, disagree, this just is what it is. And if you could just understand how men think, then maybe you'll understand how to get a good man, what to watch out for with men who come dressed as sheep, but they're really wolves in sheep clothing. And if you have a man, how do I keep him? How do I understand him? Because we speak two very different languages. And everything you were saying, I'm just sitting back here quiet because I'm like, yo, this guy's so on point. And, you know, my grandfather used to tell me when I was young, and I tell this all the time, say, Sean, people are watching you. Even you gotta work. You gotta do your best work. You gotta go hard because people are watching you even when you don't think that they're watching you. Even when they don't realize they're watching you. They're watching you. They're forming opinions. And when you said, yo, a woman hit you, my kids go to bed at 9:30, come through, you watching. Now, average Joe nigga is 100%. He gonna go through because he know what that means. But he done formed an opinion the second he got that text. And then when you realize I'm nothing more than a smash, when you realize, yo, we was doing so good and all of a sudden he ain't calling me back the way he used to. Oh, we was doing so good, but he take his time to text me. He send me the voicemail, all of that. And you're wondering what happened. That happened. And I don't think women understand how attractive it is, especially in this world of smuts and skanks and sewer rats. Like,
Tell them how you feel, nigga.
real talk. Do you understand how attractive it is for a woman to stand tall on the fact that I'm a real woman? My kids come first. My respect and my dignity for who I am and what I'm looking for, that comes first. And I'm not compromising on it. That's how you get that dude, because the dude is out here and he's seeing all of this other crap going on. Women compromising, bringing men around their kids, revolving door. After 2 weeks of meeting, he see all this. You think you the first person that wanted, and here's the deal. Because women, you need to hear this one too. If a nigga meet you and y'all 2 weeks in and he talk about, I want to meet your kids, don't take that as, oh my God, he's so into me. He want to meet my kids. He's a real, no, that nigga read the Steve Harvey book too. And he know that that is exactly what you want to hear. And he's going to tell you it because he wants to smash. And when he do, I'm out of here. Because you fell for that old prehistoric dinosaur rhetoric that homeboy was talking to you. And just because the book sold 1 million copies don't make it right. I'm sorry. There's books that are fiction all the way that's done sold millions and millions of copies. So I guess I'll leave it here. I think that it is very important, women, stay true to your convictions. Stay true to who you are. If a man is into you, he gonna stick around. If you got kids and you literally can't find time to be with this man intimately because you refuse to bring him into your space because my kids is home, and you just got a life and you can't make it to his place. If you bring in all of the other intangibles to the table, homeboy will wait. Or even if he don't wait, and Rich, you can jump in right after this. When y'all are really, really ready, he's looking at you as the one. Like, yo, homegirl is different from what's out here. Like I can't pull the moves on her that I pulled on everybody else. She is fine with waiting. She is fine with making me wait. That is attractive to a man. It just is. But go ahead, Rich.
You hit it on the nose. You hit it on the nose. Women, remember this. Next time somebody kick it with y'all and they're like, yo, I want to meet the kids. Let that shit directly hit you like this. Did I get this nigga some box yet? If the answer is no, understand why he wants to meet them kids.
There you go.
10 out of 10 times. It ain't got nothing to do with the kids. It's about knowing that you have set the precedent that the kids are more important. And he is getting sick of waiting, which means he's probably not for you. Make him wait. He will respect you. Be who he aspires to have. Every man is looking at a woman to see if she's who is going to the next level, if she worth going to the next level with. He's looking at you like, is she baby mama material? Is she my wife material? If I have a baby with her and shit don't work out, how does she treat her baby father? How does she treat her children? How does she do? All that stuff goes through dudes' minds. So don't think that niggas is just out here and they're moving willy-nilly and it's all about sex and all of that. There's a conscious mind. It's a conscious mind. And that conscious mind is going to determine whether you are the girlfriend or I just put my children to sleep. Can you come through? It's 9:30. Bring some wine. We going on the porch. Like, you don't ever want to be her. It might be cool to be her, but you don't ever want to be her. Don't let that go over your head. Because when you finish with that, you can't come back from that. When you become her, you can't come back from that. You can't invite the nigga over today, do what you do, the kids is in the next room, and then you can't get that respect that's gone and you'll never get it back. So it might be cool tonight. It might be cool tonight. You might have had an amazing time. Kids might have never woke up. He might have never ever met those kids. But there was, when he left that house, he like, yeah, I just smashed. I guarantee you he didn't leave that house like, damn, I don't want to leave. I want to be with her. He left the house like, yes. Yes. Notch on belt. I did me. And he got in that car and he called his niggas like, I'm gonna stop saying the N-word. He got in that car and he called his boys and he was like, yo, guess who I just beat? Remember Shorty with the 6 kids? I'm telling you. You can't get respect back. So you can go out there and you can have a good time. You can't fix it. You can't fix it because when it's gone, it's gone.
Nah, I mean, you said so much, and it's what it is. I guess we can leave it there. You know, I guess I'll say this, and then I'll keep it moving. I like kids as much as the next person. You know, I can't say that I want to open up no daycare, but I like children. Like most human beings like children. But if a nigga talking about he want to meet your kids and he's stressing you, he want to meet your kids, that is a red. Like nobody don't like kids that much. Nobody. Your kids, they ain't that special. If a dude been hanging around for a couple of weeks, a month, and he talking about yo, when you gonna let me meet your kid? You should look at that as a red flag out the gate. Like, nigga, like I'm not that special and neither are my kids.
Exactly.
Like something ain't adding up here. But let's switch topics. I wanted to squeeze this in last week, but I couldn't because we got so deep into so many other conversations. But shout to Young Jock. You know Young Jock just like I do. Young Jock has a radio show, morning show in Atlanta. So a young man called into his morning show and essentially was like, yo, you know, I'm engaged. Me and my fiance, we had you know, we had a little argument and now I can't get in touch with her. So I'm just hoping the morning show can hit her and see if y'all can get us back talking. Some regular normal show, morning show type crap, right?
I hosted it.
Huh?
I hosted that. I hosted this morning show.
Oh, you did?
About 2 weeks ago. He went away.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. So check it. So maybe you might know where I'm about to go. So Young Jock and I guess his co-host called the fiance, the woman, and they're like, yo, your man, no, they didn't even say it. Yes, they did. They was like, yo, your man called. He said y'all are having problems. What's the problem? But they didn't tell her he was on the other line, muted. So essentially she said homeboy couldn't afford the wedding. So she put up a GoFundMe. Turns out her ex-boyfriend, if the wedding was $15,000, he donated $7,500 to their wedding. But as a stipulation for giving the money, he wants to walk her down the aisle. And she's been trying to find a way to tell her fiance this. So she, you know, her man is listening. Yo, Rich, you can't make this stuff up, man. Yo, so he said, yo, her fiance on the other line quiet. So they're like, yo, miss, we want to just inform you your fiance's on the line. Essentially, she told him, like, yo, me and you have been together for only 2 years. Me and homeboy was together for 10. If he want to spend that money, that's fine. My father passed. He knew my father. And if he want to give me away, why do you have a problem with that? So I'm like, yo, I got to bring this to the boys club because I would love to hear your insight on this.
My man. That is the most ridiculous, ludicrous, disrespectful shit that in the whole wide. Not only is it, yo, listen, the levels of disrespect with this conversation right now is so inordinately fucking out of this planet. A nigga you used to smash for years is gonna walk you down the aisle and give you to me. If that's not the enemy of Passover, you can have it. I'm done. If all those things ain't going through your mind as they walking down the church, if you're not looking at this man with that smirk on his face like, nigga, we about to tear this church up, my nigga. We about to tear this church up. If I find out that that man used to mess with you and he walked you down, not only are you dishing, y'all are both walking down the aisle, like looking at me, laughing at me like, yo, you know I used to smash him. And he walking down the aisle looking at me like, yo, you know I used to smash her. Like, bro. And the fact that I didn't have the 7,500 or whatever the case may be, the money to do this myself,
7,500
only magnifies it. That magnifies it. Because now I'm just at the end of the thing looking like I'm the biggest bird. I'm the biggest bird right now. Like, yo, bro, no way. If you even, number one, if you even entertain that, we not talking. And if a dude had the goal to do it, and you brought it to my attention, me and him got to fight. He don't have no respect for me. You don't have no respect for me, and he don't have no respect for me. We got to fight. He got to beat me up in the church. We're going to tear this motherfucker up in front of the Lord and everybody else. No way.
Yo, okay, so before I give my commentary on it, I just want to be clear. If your fiance, this is not your girlfriend, you put the ring on her finger. You put a ring on it. Clearly, you in love with this woman. If you find out on the morning show or you find out, matter of fact, how would you like to find this out? Would you like her to tell you my ex donated half of the money to this wedding? Or would you prefer it come third party?
It can't come to me at all.
It wouldn't be easy. It wouldn't be easy if she sat you down and said, listen, I know right now you're working hard, and that's what I love about you. But you just ain't bringing in real money, and I want to have the wedding of my dreams. And this dude is willing to pay for it.
Yo.
You keep respect on that?
The most emasculating thing I've ever heard on this show. Yo, you going hard, my dude. I get it. But you a bum ass nigga. I know you ain't got that 75. So this nigga I used to smash.
I'm about to piss on myself, man. Yo, you can make me pee on my. I'm about to literally have to get up and go to the bathroom and come back.
No, true story. That's how else do you view that as a man? How else do you view that? Yo, like she could give it to you no matter how she give it to you. It could be the most respectful, yo, baby. I know you working hard. I know you doing all you can. But remember Tommy I told you about that we used to fuck off? He got 75 on this. And all he want to do is walk me down the aisle. Bitch, me and you finna tear this house up. I'm finna go find Tommy. And me and Tommy finna tear up whatever block he's standing on. And this is what the fuck is happening. That is, yo, bro, that is like the epitome of you. Like, there's no other way except for you bum ass nigga. You bum ass nigga. Like, you can't even afford our wedding, you bum ass nigga. I gotta go talk to the nigga I used to smash. Like, I don't even know why we broke up fucking with a nigga like you. I should have stayed with him. If I should have stayed with him was a person, it's this conversation. That's the best way to put this shit. If I should have stayed with him was a person, it's this conversation.
Yo, I can't. Oh my God. All right. So, yo, Rick, first and foremost, I'm dying. I'm in tears over here. Nah, as a man, there is, here's the crazy part. And usually, typically, I like to move it off of the actual people and just talk in general terms. But that man hearing that, when I was listening to that, and that man is on mute, and this woman is confiding in young Jock, telling her that this man wants to give her away. Like, it's bad enough you paid for the wedding, but the stipulation is I want to hand you off. I thought I was going to die. I couldn't wait to talk about this. But ladies, understand, man, I don't think it's never a good idea to remind your man of his inadequacies by showcasing what your ex-man had and what your ex-man can do that he can't. I think that from the gate, and here's the crazy part, Rich, the dude, the fiance, had the nerve to say, me and you gotta talk. Like there was something to even talk about. I couldn't believe it. He was like, yo, we gonna finish this conversation off air. I think we need to have a conversation. I was like, yo, what is there to talk about? Like, straight up.
He's a coup cake.
A who?
He's a coup cake. You know what a coup cake is? You never, on the porn, where the niggas be having a nigga that smashed your wife, and you watch, essentially, that's the porn version of this. Like a nigga who sits in the corner while somebody else smashes your wife. For him to tell his wife, we gotta talk about this, he's a coup cake. He's okay with watching another man smash his wife. Like, there's no way in the world that you can justify that or put any kind of, like, realness to that, bro. I'm calling you all kinds of everything in the book before I hang up this phone just to save face. And then I'm banging on you, and I'm telling Jock to go to hell with his radio show, too. You too, shout it. All you niggas go to hell. Bro, come on, bro. We got to talk about. We got some things we got to talk. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Yeah. Because we just crossed the hour mark, and I do want to get some callers if there's any callers that want to call in.
And whoever just said it's called voyeurism is the actual terminology. Kuke is what's the porn terminology. I was not saying voyeurism is actual watching, getting off by watching somebody else have sex from a distance. That's not what I was talking about. I'm talking about something more in-depth, emasculating, disrespectful as to watch another man have sex with your wife and sit there in the corner. That's called cooking. Moving on.
Okay, it leads me to kind of a spin-off conversation. And after this, I'll go to the callers. So if you were trying to get in the conversation, please hit the request button now. That's the plus button down below. Y'all know the rules. If you are a first time to the boys club, very simple rules. Make sure wherever you are, you have really good Wi-Fi signal or strong cellular signal. Also, well-lit location. You cannot not be on camera. We do not speak to empty screens, and you must have a question. You must come to the table with a question. This was, again, to echo your words, that is probably the most emasculating thing that a woman can do to a man. Like that is beyond emasculating. But I want to talk to you about the male ego and how important. I want to talk about the importance of the male ego and a woman, and I don't want this to come out wrong. So women, bear with me, and Rich, just roll with me for a second. A woman stroking her man's ego, a woman making her man feel empowered, feel like he is the best that ever did it. Is that a trait that is up there with all of the other non-negotiables as a woman? Is that a trait that a woman needs to bring to the table? Because we often speak about the flip side of it, right? We talk about emasculating a man. But it's just as important, just listening to what happened with those two. If that man did have any sort of ego, and people, when they think of ego, they think bravado. They think, I can't even talk to him, or I can't talk. No, your ego, that can just make you like in a relationship, I just feel like I can do anything because this person empowers me. They make me feel like a better man, like I could go out there and conquer the world. It don't have to be straight bravado or any of that stuff. That's not what I'm talking about. But in your opinion, in a relationship, where does a woman protecting a man's ego and building his ego and his self-confidence up, where does that fall on the list of non-negotiables?
Okay. Wow. Trick question. It really is a trick question, and I'll explain why. It is 100% important to a relationship that you support your man in his endeavors, that you give him the fortitude, that you give him the wherewithal that he can do anything out there. All it does is helps him be motivated to go out and do the best he can do every time. He know he got you will ride or die, you with him, you encourage him every chance you get. Yo, that's fucking the highest level of relationship one-on-one. Like, you gotta do that for your man. But you gotta be honest. You gotta be honest. Because I'm gonna tell you something. That whole meme, remember there was a meme, that's my man, I'm gonna stick by him. Remember that?
Nah, I'm not, you know, I ain't on social media like that.
Okay. There was a meme going around. There was this girl who was on Maury, and this nigga had 50 children, and she went on the Maury show, and he was like, yo, and she was like, that's my man, I'm gonna stick by him. You have to be honest. It is counterproductive to send your man out into the world with false reality. It is counterproductive to send your man out into the world thinking that he's going to accomplish something that you know he ain't finna accomplish. It's your job to make him feel he can accomplish it. but it's also your job to let him know that he's not on the verge of accomplishing it. So giving your man your IRS check for his studio sessions so this nigga could put the mixtape out when you know damn good and well this nigga's absolutely trizash, and all your friends, whenever they get in your car and you play that trash ass track, they all be like, yo, girl, what the fuck is that? You are being counterproductive. This is just the example. You are being counterproductive to go home and tell that man, yo, my friends love you. You got it, babe. You about to blow, babe. We the next Jay-Z and Beyonce, babe. You gotta keep it 100. Yo, my man, whatever you need me to do to support you, I'ma do. But baby, you trash. Do I need to go find some dudes to help you? Do I need to do what do you need me to do to help you get better? Because you not there yet. You're far from there. Don't send that man into the world with this false sense of bravado and reality that he's nice or he got it or he can do it. He gonna come home and it's gonna be worse. Because the one thing, if y'all are in a relationship, the one thing that chances are, if you do it the right way, you won't embarrass him. You won't embarrass him. The world will embarrass you. I want my girl to be honest. I want my girl to be like, yo, almost to the point where, I'll give you an example. I'm working at Bad Boy. I'm making $40 a week. You know, you paid me. Intern status. Met my girl like, yo, you gonna be something, but you gotta get another job, homeboy, because this ain't it. The reality, I will be with you. I don't care if you don't come home until late. I don't care if Sean Press have you in the club until 3 a.m. with the book bag going home on the gypsy van every night. That's gonna help you become who you are, and I'm gonna ride with you for that. But we ain't there, and this ain't it. So we need to do other things too. This can't be life. Like, I can't let you just think that this is it. You have to do, there has to be more to it. And that's the same thing with anything in life. Keep it 100 with your man. If he's your man, you ain't gonna embarrass him. All you're gonna do is light a fire in him. But don't have him out there with the false sense of reality, because now the fire is, he don't have that fire. Now he's feeling like he made it. And that's counterproductive when you go out into them streets and you ain't really made it, but you think you have, and now everybody looking at you like, yo, dude, come on, man, this is what you brought. Yo, but my girl, in your mind, the only thing you're thinking is, but my girl said I was nice. But my girl said, we here. My girl said, oh, you work for Bad Boy, we here. No, just being here ain't enough. There's levels to this shit. And if you really want to be a good girlfriend, stand by your man, stand by his dreams, stand by all of that, but also make sure he understands the reality of where he is. Homeboy, I don't care if you go to the studio. I will even give you the money to go to the studio, but you need to do what you need to do to get better, because you're not nice. I play your record in my car. Nobody likes it. Everybody laughs at me. Everybody says you're trash. I know you want to be a rapper. I'm going to ride with you. But you're not finna use my income tax to go to the studio and think that it's going to be okay. We ain't doing that. We got to prioritize this thing. I'm a firm believer in riding for your man. I'm a firm believer in that. I think that's, and riding for your woman, same thing. You got the new hairline, you want to do the lashes, whatever the case may be. You want to do your thing, I'm going to ride with you. But 3 weeks of this shit, and you ain't doing the shit you're supposed to do, or there's a conversation. I'm not riding, here it is. I'm going to ride with you, but I'm not riding blindly. I'm gonna ride with you wherever you want to go, but I'm not sitting on the back of this motorcycle riding blindly. You ain't just gonna lead me into the abyss, nigga. No, sir. It's gonna be a conscious decision, and we're gonna discuss it, and we're gonna know the ramifications of it before we go off. I'm not just riding blindly.
Okay, I asked you this question because I was having a conversation earlier this week. And this guy was, you know, he was venting. He was venting about his relationship. And he was essentially like, yo, I told my girl, you got the most important job you got is to make me feel important. That is the most important job you got. The most important job you got is to make me feel important. And you do, meaning her, just the opposite. When I'm in your presence, I don't feel important. I don't feel the way a man should feel. And it got me to thinking about the male ego. It got me to thinking about support for one another. It got me to thinking about, in the list of relationship priorities, where does all this fall? Because people talk, you know, if you're into traditional women, I want somebody cook, clean. Some people want women who work, bring home the bacon, cook it too, this, that, and the third. But what about just the way the woman makes you feel? So I'll start there. What led me here? And then I'm gonna go to where you went. We're looking at that fabulous background behind you. Look like Rich is in the penthouse somewhere. But typically when you do this show, I see that photo of my idol, Muhammad Ali, right? I see that photo of the greatest to ever do it, Muhammad himself. And Muhammad Ali used to keep a guy in his corner called Drew Bundini. And for any of you guys who don't know who Bundini is, go look him up. In the Will Smith Muhammad Ali movie, Jamie Foxx played him. That was his character. But Bundini had one job and one job only. He used to whisper. He was the original hype man. Before there was a such thing as a hype man, Bundini was the guy who whispered in Muhammad Ali's ear and told him, "You're the greatest." He got that from him. You float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Nobody can beat you. God put you on this earth to be the greatest. You worked with me, a bad boy, for many years, switching topics. And I'm not going to say the person's name, but Puff had a woman around him that most of the office hated. This woman, no matter what she did, no matter how disrespectful she was to people, no matter how much she ran amok in that office, he would not fire her. And I remember one day when we were all in one of the closed door meetings, and niggas was like, yo, look, she has to go. She is a cancer to this organization. She is bad for business. Puff shut up. He listened, and he looked up, and he said, what y'all don't understand is everybody needs a her. And he called her by name. And at that time, I don't think most of us understood. He said everybody, she made him believe he could do it, whatever it was. So if he was running a marathon, she was the one. Puff, you got this. Did he run the city? Run, did he run? This, that. If Puff was doing anything, she was his biggest hype man. So within a relationship, men's egos are fragile. They are. And there is a fine line between stroking your man's ego, supporting him, making him feel like he could conquer the world. He's Alexander the Great, and lying to him. But that is for you. You got to walk that line successfully in your relationship. You have to figure out where is the balance between making this man feel like he could conquer the world, but I need to put the brakes on him with things that are just unrealistic. So I'm saying that to say, women, if you spend the majority of your time tearing your man down, making him feel as though when he comes home, when he's in the sanctity of what should be the most peaceful place on earth, your house, your dwelling, it is so important to make that person feel, yo, you can do it, whatever it is. Stroking his ego, making him feel like, yo, and it's vice versa. I'm gonna just tell him from a man's point of view. But listening to my friend earlier this week, if you constantly cut this man off by his needs, even if there's no cheating going on, even if there's nothing, you will lose your man. If he does not come home and feel like in this house, I'm the king. I don't care if this is a studio apartment. I don't care if we live in a room and we got to share the bathroom with 6 other niggas on this floor. But in here, you make me feel like a man. If you're spending time doing the opposite, you will lose your man. And that is facts. And I believe it goes both ways. But again, I'm only speaking from the male point of view, especially because a man's ego is so damn delicate. It really is. And I don't care. You could look at a Mike Tyson. You could look at some of the biggest people on planet Earth. Trust me when I tell you, these men, their feelings hurt. I don't care. They could knock anybody out. They walk around and they instill fear or they instill respect. They walk into the boardroom. Everybody, how are you, Mr. Such as? But their ego is so damn delicate. And you have to understand, I don't care if your man is 6'5" or your man is 5'1". It just is what it is. And I think that on that list of non-negotiables, that's right up there close to the top. You got to make this man feel like he's the one. He got to feel like Neil.
But my thing is this. If you with a man, you with him for a reason. So you should honestly believe that. Like you should, if you with somebody, you should not be with somebody who you don't believe in. You should not be with somebody if you feel like you could do better. You should not be with somebody if this is charity. You should not be with somebody if they not who you want to be with. And who you want to be with should be a person that you honestly feel like that about. That you honestly feel like this dude is amazing. And if you think he's amazing and you're with him because he's amazing, it's your job to make him feel like he's amazing.
Stop there for a second. Rich, as much as I trust and believe in what you're saying, do you know how many women even listening to this, they don't have a man because they think he's amazing. They just wanted a man. And it was insert man here. So a man came along and they made him feel a certain way because they wanted a man.
And that's where this problem lies. That's when we go back and I'm saying you with this man because you just wanted a man. So now you just eliminated everything I said. It's not who you really want to be with. You just with the nigga because he here. You don't think he's amazing. You feel like you can do better. So that's going to come out. That's going to come out because no matter how you let this man sit next to you and y'all go to bed together and do what y'all do in the bedroom, the fact that you're unhappy with this is going to rear its ugly head. It's going to rear its ugly head. Whether it be in an argument, whether it be when this nigga bouncing around the house and you get annoyed because he acting like he's something that he's not and you got to put him in check real quick, you bum ass nigga. You make 35 grand, nigga, shut up. Like now all the other things come out. All the other things come out. The person you were talking about, when she felt that way, she felt that way. But when it was time to jump ship, she jumped ship because she felt like way about the nigga across the street. Right or wrong?
That's right.
So in that moment, if you feel like this dude is the dude, it's easy to be like that. You on top of the world with this dude. But if you start to feel like he ain't it no more, that shit comes out. It comes out. You can't hide it. And that's what your man is talking about. He talking about it from a place of, you don't make me feel that way. It's because you ever been around somebody, you get annoyed? Like you just be around them and you just look at them and be like, yo, bum ass, you bum, bro. But it's your man's. But you can't help it. Sometimes, as much as you try to front and be all the things that a friend would want you to be, sometimes you just look at them and be like, you just annoying me right now, bro. Like you just a bum ass nigga. Like you annoying me right now. And that's how women be. When women see you and you in your moment and you peacocking around the house and you think you that dude, they just feel like, man, I gotta bring you down. Cause now I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed that I'm here with you. When I know that Mr. Right is across the way. Like that's when you know that that's not a relationship you want to be in. And if you have the foresight to say that maybe he has the potential to be that, then you need to encourage him to be that and ride it out. Because everybody want to be Puff in 2022, but I don't know that everybody want to be Puff in 1994. See, this is the difference. Like, so don't let a good one go because it's your fault because you expecting the moon, the quasars right now. Like Jay-Z wasn't Jay-Z in 96 when he was talking about nobody would sign him, but now he's a billionaire. So if you want to be there and you want to genuinely be there and you have the thought process of how we're going to get from point A to point B, then show that man that love. But if you don't believe him and you don't believe in him, man, get off that boat. Get off that ship.
Yeah, but Rich, I'm gonna tell you something because we keep creeping into these conversations that need. Women settle. Women settle all day, every day. Now they convince themselves that they're in love. They convince themselves that he's Mr. Right. They convince themselves that they're more into this dude than what they really are because this dude, he took him serious. He was ready to wife him when nobody else was. Some of these women are looking and they more focused on the clock. They're more focused on I'm getting older and I don't want to get old alone. So for them, yo, you know what? I'm willing to settle. But they convince themselves that they're not settling. So they play Jedi mind tricks on themselves.
Yeah.
And then once they're in it, I can't even lie. I can't fake this. I don't, every time that this man want to climb on top of me, it sickens me. I can't fake this. I see him, he's a good father. He might be a good father. He might be a good man. But it's that intangible. It's that thing that happens when people are in love that you can't put into words. It's that other thing that you can't just define. I just love him or I just love her. And I can't even describe it. That part is not there. So it's hard to take care of a man's ego and you settle with this dude from the gate. Even if you lied to yourself and told yourself I was really into him, but you damn sure was not. You were on the clock and it was insert man here. And it's as simple as that. So everything that you're talking, how do you fake that when now we got a kid? How do you support your man and make him feel like he the one when see, because here's the funny thing, Rich, and then I'll throw it back to you or we take a caller. When a woman really is in love with a man, when a woman really do, when she really like, this is the one. You know it. You know it. She can't fake it. You could be 350 pounds. You could be walking and your clothes are trash, but she sees you. Baby, I know all these other bees out here want you. I don't think I don't know what I got. All of that, she can't help it. She also can't help when the dust settles and damn, I settled. Now I'm 5 years older. I got into this because I was getting old and I just had to have a man. Now I'm 5 years older than when I got into this. So damn if I'm going to start all over again. Ain't no way in the world I'm going back. But she can't even be in a loving, happy relationship because I can't even fake it. So I see you for what you are. You're a good father. I'll give you all the compliments that you deserve. You're an excellent father. You're an excellent provider. You're this, you're that. But she don't never mention the intangibles. This nigga just make me feel a certain kind of way. You know what? I don't know what it is, but he's more attractive as he's getting older. When I just to the rest of the world, you can look like grandpa freaking monster. But to her, in her eyes, you getting better with age. Oh, that nigga fine wine. Like he aging just like the way he's supposed, and you like, yo, my stomach is crazy, all of that. But it just comes down to, I guess I'm saying all this to say, it's better to just wait than to settle. It's better to wait than to insert man here. You don't know who God got around the corner for you. And it's just that simple.
Let me tell you what my mama used to tell me about settling. Settling says more about you than it does about me. The fact that you felt you needed to settle with me probably meant that you felt like you were coming to the end of your rope and you needed to solidify something because your options were going to be limited. What you were looking for, you weren't going to find. You were no longer in a position to make demands on things that you wanted. So now at this point, I need to secure something. I want to go to the NBA. I want to make $100 million. I want the big contract. But at some point, you need to realize that as you get older, that's not me. Now I just want to be a bench rider and make minimum. Or now I just want to go overseas. That says more about me and how I feel about myself than it does about the NBA. So if you settling for someone probably means that you felt like you were at the end of your rope, and you will never be happy at the end of your rope. You will never feel, you will always be bitter. You will grow old and Sean, the reality is there's a lot of people who live out their years, just what you just said. Miserable, old, miserable people who don't want to go home at night, who stay at work until 10 o'clock because they don't want to, who go to the strip club with their friends, who go through midlife crisis, who aren't happy within their own thing. That's something you have to deal with internally. You put that on yourself. Like, don't get mad at nobody for how you feel about decisions you made. So, I mean, I get it. And I feel sorry for people who dealt with somebody and sell, and now you want to create a situation that you can't walk away from so easily. Because you've been here for 10 years and you got a kid that's about to go into high school, and now you get into that do it for the kids shit. Now you get into all that extracurricular, all them intangibles that go along with relationships that have longevity. So now you're in places that you can't even make moves. And it's a sad state of affairs. But the reality is there's a lot of people out there living that way right now.
But you know, Rich, this is something that is not going to ever go away, because the little bit I do know about women, they ain't never gonna admit it to themselves. They never gonna admit, I just want a man. They never going to admit, damn, I was all into being a boss chick, and now I'm 35. Now I'm 40. I got the VP stripes at work, but I come home to nothing, and I want to be wiped up. They're never going to admit that at that point, it's insert man here. And any man that look their way, he's the one. And they're going to convince him because they've convinced themselves that he's right. So how could he ever figure out that, yo, I'm not right. I'm just the right nigga at the right time for her. And when I get into this deep, 2-3 years down the road, she gonna be looking over at me, doing everything that you just said, feeling like I settled. So I guess it goes back to, because I don't know what the answer to this, and I don't know, and I don't want to keep going around in a circle, but this is why you gotta vet, man. This is why you gotta have conversations. This is why you gotta ask the hard questions up front. Because again, and we talked about the male ego, right? Nigga, I would be lying if I didn't. If I sat here and said I don't have an ego. My ego is through the roof. I'm sorry. My ego is through the roof, and for Sean, I gotta know. I like before I chose my wife, I had to know it's me. Like this is the way I'm speaking, because this is how I always thought. I don't want to be that lucky, unlucky nigga. Meaning, oh, you interested in me, and I feel lucky, like, oh, I got her, but really I'm unlucky because it was insert man here anyway. I was in the right place at the right time. I needed to know with every fiber of my being, yo, she was Sean for Sean. Mm-hmm. And I don't care if who's some of the handsome dudes out here right now. I don't care who come walking down the block. she like, you don't compare to this dude. I don't care how much money he got, how much time he spent in the gym, how many degrees he got behind his name. Nah. And I'm telling you, I would not, I wish I could bring her on this show. I wouldn't do it, but I wish I could, because she'd be the first one to tell you, this nigga was not wifing me until he knew. Until whatever that thing, that line in the sand I had to cross to know, it just was that simple. So I feel sorry for these sucker for love niggas who they looking for love so bad they get swindled in with the insert man here, or it's insert woman here. And I feel really bad for the women who are convincing themselves that he's the one, and he's not. You just ready to be locked down, and he's convenient. He's at a place that he's willing to lock you down. So
and
I don't
that's
know.
the importance, and I'll leave it at this. There's a movie, one of my favorite movies, called shit. It's hard to be one of my favorite movies. I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, it's about the woman who owned the magazine, and there was a dude in that movie. He said, or ran the magazine. What's you know what I'm talking about, bro?
What magazine?
She owned the fashion magazine.
How the hell I know?
Because there was a big movie. It was a humongous movie. But
The
anyway,
Devil Wears Prada?
Devil Wears Prada. Boom.
Okay.
In that movie, there was a part where the dude said, you want to know when you're doing really, really good at work? Your home life will fall the fuck apart. Remember that?
Absolutely.
The point that I'm making about that is you have to find your medium. There's nothing wrong with being a go-getter and feeling like there's nothing else important except for getting this done and getting to the point where you want to be in your life financially and work-wise and all those things. But just realize what you're jeopardizing. Just realize what you're giving up at this time of your life, because you can't get time back. And you might be the biggest, most powerful woman in the whole wide world, with all these magazines and all these people sucking you off every day and acting like you're the Queen of England, but you can't keep a man because you've gotten to the point that Sean just said. It becomes insert man. Find your medium, because everything in the world is not worth having if you have nobody to share it with. And insert man is not having somebody to share it with. Insert man is grudgingly giving niggas what you have and being resentful that he ain't the one you want to give it to. And that makes everybody involved sad. It's just a horrible situation. And you're right. It is what it is. I tell people that all the time. You can act like you're busy. You can act like you can't do the things that are necessary for this relationship to work. Because I am who I am, it offends me. I was around the busiest people in the whole wide world. And you know what? They made time. I tell people this all the time. I was on the road with Robin Thicke when Robin Thicke was at the top of his shit. That nigga would call Paula Patton every single time. We walked to the car, we walked to the restaurant, we walked downstairs from the radio station. Baby, I'm finished. Just got done with the radio. I'll call you when I get in the car. Just got in the car. Da-da-da. You can find time for what's important. And you can harvest all relationships. You just need to find your medium. Because if you don't, you will grow old, you will be resentful, you will be what Sean said, and that is insert man, insert woman, and you will be disgusted that you're looking across from somebody that doesn't deserve what you're giving them, and the only reason they're here is by default. That's a horrible feeling. Horrible feeling. To look across from you at the person that you're supposed to be freaking starry-eyed about, and looking at them in their mind and looking at them in their face and looking at them like, yo, I don't even know why you here, dude. Lady, I don't even know why you here right now. And then you just start being mean for no reason, and nobody really understands what's going on in the dynamic. It's really because you're just disgusted to look at the person because you feel like you deserve so much better. But you waited, you fucked off, you did this, you did that, and now you're at the point in your life where it's insert man because you realize the runway is a lot shorter going that way than it is going that way, and you don't want to end this shit by yourself. So you just go through life unhappy.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is a death sentence, real talk. I might be just a whole different type of human being, but I would rather be alone than to be in something that ain't real. I just would. I think that for any woman who finds themselves in a situation where they don't have a man, wait on something that's real. It's just so much better, man. You'll save yourself so many headaches in the long run. It's nothing worse than being somebody's roommate. It's nothing worse than literally your stomach turning every time this nigga roll over and touch you. It's just nothing worse than the best part of your day is when you ain't in the house and you get sick on the way home because now I gotta have a talk with this silly dude. His conversation, he always talk about stuff that just don't interest me. Like, there is nothing worse. So, what's up?
We had this conversation a few weeks ago. There comes a point in people's lives where the things that used to be not important are important, which is why we always talk about why would a such and such age man want a such and such age woman? Why would a such and such age woman want a such and such age man? Because the things that was not important when you was 21 or 24 or 26 are important when you're 55. You want to talk politics. You want to talk about this. You want to be cultured. So it's not a disrespect to any specific person. It's just at this point in time, I have to acknowledge that niggas might be settling out here because they realize that 50 million good ones went away. And now you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're like, I like who like me. And that ain't no way to be. That ain't no way to feel.
It's the worst way to be.
Or for someone to be with you for the wrong reasons. Someone to be with you for the wrong reasons, and someone to love being around you for the wrong reasons. How about that?
Yeah, it's a horrible way to be. And I guess I'll end it here and we'll switch topics. And this is really off of the beaten trail of what we were talking about, but you just said, you were just talking about the different things you look for with age, right? And these relationships, Rich, they're hard. They really are. You know, we talked about this before, but you just made me think about it. Like, it is so important to grow with your partner. It is just so very important to literally grow with your partner, because, and now I'm stepping in some murky waters here, but people need to hear this. You always see, and this is not the greatest example, but just take it at face value. But you always see people who they had their girl from around the way, and they was like this, inseparable. And then they, one person blows. Maybe he becomes a very prominent businessman. Maybe he becomes a pro athlete. Maybe he becomes an entertainer. And then they leave that person that they was with. Now, some niggas is just dirtbags. Some niggas are cornballs, and some niggas was gonna do that anyway. But there's a flip side to that coin. And Rich, you can attest to this. I'm from the South Bronx. And when I was growing up, all I knew was the South Bronx. I didn't know nothing else. Ask me any place in the Bronx, I could tell you. I damn near couldn't even tell you about Brooklyn. I could tell you about the Bronx, and I could tell you about Harlem, and a little bit about Manhattan. But as you grow, your partner, like ladies and men, if you got that boss chick and she's growing, you gotta grow. You can't be resentful. You gotta grow with her, because what y'all were used to, it's a different story. Richie Dollars, you done traveled this country and this world. Your vernacular, what you seen, what you done, the type of foods that you used to tasting. If you got a girl that you came up with and she's still talking that same, and she could be doing it lovingly. Oh, I know you like the black eyed peas and the butter beans and rice, and I know you like the fried chicken, and you like, yo, I don't even eat fried foods. Like, I'm more into my health now. You see me in the damn gym every day. I'm getting a little older. And then there becomes this resentment because you used to like my fried chicken. You used to like fried gizzards from the Chinese restaurant on the corner. I can't even stomach the Chinese restaurant on the corner no more.
Facts.
Because I done ate Philippe's. I ate Mr. Chow's. I can't stomach Red Lobster no more. I'm literally, I'm used to dining in places where the fish come off the boat and 5 minutes later it's on your plate. Right. And it's not that I've gotten Hollywood, I've just evolved. And you are determined not to. And a lot of time, and these are extreme examples, but I'm just saying that because I don't want to be Sean. If I'm the same person that I was 5 years ago, I'm a loser. Like I love when people, Sean, you're down to earth. You're the same person that you've always been. That's a huge compliment. But truthfully speaking, I'm not. I'm always evolving. I'm reading. I'm getting closer to the Lord. I'm trying to evolve as a human being, and I need somebody that's going to evolve with me. And the last thing I want, and women, y'all shouldn't want this. You don't want nobody the same person. If they're the same person that they was 5 years ago, they're doing you a disservice. You are growing without them. Like straight up. Sometimes it ain't about we fell out of love. I just outgrew you, nigga. Like I don't want to hear about who just came home, who just got locked up. I'm not interested in all that block talk. Like you said, I'm into politics. Tell me who's running for local congressman or Congress, who's going to affect my life and how my vote can make a difference. All of those things are about evolving. And I just think sometimes people are so caught up, Rich, into keeping it real, and they don't evolve. And actually, when they see their partner growing, they shut down. They treat it like their partner's doing something wrong. Person, if I was, you should be pissed with me. I just think you got to grow together. And I don't even know where that came from, but it was worth saying.
Nah, you're absolutely right. It came from being unhappy and being in situations that aren't working, and you looking at and not being in a good place. That's the type of shit where you look up at somebody and be like, I'm not the same person. I don't have a desire to be the same person. I don't want to be Richie from Dalton High School. I don't want to be Richie from 135th Street anymore. I take pride in where I come from, but if I'm still that person 47 years later, nigga, that's
it's a problem.
That I haven't done the things that I'm supposed to do in my life to grow and mature and become something different. It's not about where you from, it's about who you are right now. And if you with somebody who don't want to grow or hasn't grown, it stunts your growth. There it is. That's the one. Steve Harvey. Going back to Steve Harvey. The only thing that I liked that nigga ever said was, if you grow in a tree and you put that tree in a box, the tree is only going to grow as big as that box. But if you let that tree grow in the wilderness, it's going to be the biggest tree in the world. Don't let people stunt your growth. You don't stunt your growth. You got to grow up. You got to evolve. Or else you will be resentful. You will be resentful. If there's a woman next to you and she's stunting your growth, you will be resentful of her. You will be resentful and you will treat her like trash. Or if there's a man who's stunting your growth, ladies, you are going to look at him later on in your life and you're going to be resentful. And you're going to think of all the things you could have been, all the things you could have had, and why this clown kept you from reaching that shit. And that's what it's about.
Nah, the bad part about it, Rich, niggas do it all day, every day. And what I mean by that, you know, a woman, when you're young, she'll put up with you hustling, you in the streets, all of that. And that was cute. You a teenager. You in your early 20s. Nigga, we got kids now. You still talking about, I'm hustling, I'm out on the corner. Like that's crazy. You still coming home talking to me about such and such just got locked up or such and such just came home? Like, that's corny at this point.
Absolutely.
But before I switch topics, you just said something that made me think. We speak from a man's point of view, but it's so often that men are guilty of this more than women. And I see it all the time where because women more times than not, and it's not an absolute certainty, but a lot more often than not, they got their stuff together more than a man. They mature faster than a man. And you know, they want more. And don't you know, a lot of these tired niggas get threatened, and you know, then it's not about you changed. Now I'm threatened because you going somewhere that I'm mentally not prepared to go. My maturity is not gotten to a place where I am ready to sit down and budget and actually open a bank account instead of keeping my money in the shoebox. You're going somewhere, you want something, and now I'm beating you up for wanting more because it's making me feel a way about myself. And men be holding women back. I'm not even gonna say holding women back, but they be playing them Jedi mind trick games on these women because they not ready to grow. when that woman's ready to go. And the only thing I'm saying, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Sometimes
Facts.
you find yourself outgrowing a nigga, and a nigga making you feel bad because you want more out of life. Like you tired of sleeping on a bed with no box spring. He just got a mattress on the floor, but he got 50 pairs of sneakers all around the walls of his room. Like when you get tired of coming home and paying rent, and you having a conversation about mortgage, and he just can't understand, that he can't make sense of the fact that, yo, we need to be buying instead of renting. Maybe it's time that you move on, because it's like I said, if you're in the same place you was 5 years ago, you're losing. It's
You know
just
what
that,
it is, Sean? The fundamental difference in this scenario right here between men and women. Women have no problem moving on from friends. Men use it as a badge of honor that they still go back to the hood and hang with the niggas that's on the block 20 years later.
you talking that talk, Rich.
A man will be mad. A man will hit you and be like, yo, I'm going back to the block. I'm getting ready to go across. I'm going over to Harlem real quick. I want to see the fellas. When a woman get out of Harlem, she ain't going back. Except to fucking get her hair done. That's it. It's because she knows the Dominican been doing her hair for the last 30 years. And she about to go get her hair done from that Dominican. And then Asians around the corner that she been going to for the last is about to do them fucking nails and feet. Other than that, she has no desire to go back to the hood except for her family. A dude want to go back to sit on the block, drink a 40, sit on the stoop, hang with the fellas, talk nonsense, who just came home, blah, blah, blah. Can't do it. You can't do it. Grow up. Grow up. Nothing wrong with going back to the hood, but it can't be your life. You can't, it's not a badge of honor that you went back to the hood 15 times last month.
Yep, everybody want to live by keeping it real. Okay, like keep it real. That's the corniest. I don't even know what to say, Rich. You know, I think that God willing, you grow together. But if you find that you're not growing together, it's okay to be out. It just is, and I'm unapologetic about that. Like my life is going this way, and as much as I used to like certain things, you know, it's funny because when my mother was alive, I would always go home for Thanksgiving, and she would cook, you know, all of my favorite dishes, and I would hear her on the phone bragging like, Sean, the only time he eat this is when he come home to mama, and you know, this is the only, and it's true. It's like, Ma, I don't eat this for nobody because I've evolved. I'm not better than anybody. I just know better. So I do better. A lot of these foods, they got men in our community having heart attacks at 45 years old. Niggas is overweight. Niggas, nothing wrong with evolving. So I guess we'll leave it there. But Rich, we just came up on, we passed 2 hours. So for everybody, I apologize to y'all that we didn't get to bring any callers in. And truthfully speaking, I got so much more I wanted to bring into this conversation. But Rich, it's on you. It's your call. I'd like to try to keep this around 2 hours, and I just looked at the watch and we passed it.
Nah, we could, I mean, next week. What we didn't cover this week, we'll cover next week, and hopefully, you know, we had these conversations, and I see the comments are still going crazy, and we still got the same people that was in here from earlier. So, I mean, we thank y'all for hanging out with us. We appreciate the love. I hope the conversations is therapeutic for you as it is for us having it. Next week we do it again, and next week we make sure we get some callers in. So hit me, hit Sean with the DMs of what's going on, what the questions are, whatever y'all want to talk about, and we'll get it in. We'll get it in the show. So we'll see y'all next week, Wednesday, man, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. It is what it is.
All right, y'all, 7:30 p.m. Like Rich said at the top of the show, This episode will be live up on all streaming platforms tomorrow. So if you're at work and your boss can't see you watching us, you can listen to us. Just put an AirPod in and you can listen to us, or you can head on over to YouTube. But do us a favor, no matter what, if you love what we're doing, please share these episodes. I think more people need to know what we're doing, and God willing, we're making a difference in y'all's life. Rich,
Absolutely.
it's offline. One.